For my garbage person of the week, I have someone who, there are people who've done more actual damage, sure, but someone who's just so see-through, so pitiful, I think is the word that has to be used, is going to be this individual, Geraldo Rivera, looking quite Abby in that famous photo of him. I am going to toss him into trashy. Trashy likes lean meat. Anyway, but why?
Christ,
why?
That was disgusting.
I do it for you, Brett. Anyway, the reason he's garbage this week is for coming up with this idea that it would effectively be the biggest participation trophy ever for Donald Trump. Like when you think about the entire pandemic, I want you to keep that in mind as you watch this video.
I had an idea, when with the world so divided and everybody, telling him he's got to give up and time to leave and time to transition and all the rest of it. Why not name the vaccine the Trump? Make it like, have you gotten your Trump yet? No, it'd be a nice gesture to him. And years from now, it would become just a kind of a generic name. Have you got your Trump yet? Oh yeah, I got my Trump, I'm fine. I wish we could honor him in that way because he is definitely the prime architect of this Operation Warp Speed. And but for him, we'd still be waiting, into the grim winter for these amazing, miraculous medical breakthroughs.
So oh God, it's so, look, the reason I chose him is because it's so fawning and pathetic. Name it the Trump. It's so insane. But then everything he said after that, I would argue is even worse. But first, the giving the participation trophy for the snowflake Trump who feels like he's not gonna get credit. So let's give him the credit. What do you think about that, first of all, Brett?
I think I see this differently from you. They're all terrible, but this is the even Geraldo moment. Like we need to pull these together. Like Fox News has warped the discourse so far away from reality that there are people like Tucker did it yesterday, Geraldo did it today, that realize that it's gone too far, but they can't just say that. Like the normal conversation would be like, Trump is such a child. If we're being realistic and objective, Trump is being such a child that I guess I have to come up with something so ridiculous to get him to believe that he is valued in a way that will give him the confidence to say, listen, I can leave with my head hung high. But in this case, they know they can't just be objective and talk to their audience like grown-ups. And their audience is not just Trump supporters, but Trump himself. So they have to, this is like when you have a baby coming and you know that you're like a second child coming and you know the first child's gonna be jealous. So you have to come up with a story like, we're deciding to give you a baby brother. We love you so much, we're gonna give you a baby brother. You have to play these crazy mind games so they don't throw a tantrum and hate the incoming thing and try to kill it. But that's what Trump's doing. And that's pathetic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and oh God, but the Trump, it doesn't even sound good. It doesn't sound good at all. Anyway,
you tie that hump. That's how you do the Trump. Like
that would be cool. We can do that. We can name that dance after Trump. No, but the bigger issue I have is like I don't know what your average Fox viewer thinks of Geraldo because Geraldo sometimes criticizes the Republicans and sometimes says things like that are like Lou Dobbs level fawning or whatever. So I think it's mixed, but he is a person who every day watches the news and is part of it and analyzes it. And what he said, even if we're moving past the Trump vaccine thing, he said he was instrumental in the development of the vaccines, which one of the two vaccines literally wasn't even involved in that process. The other one, they did get some funding, that's true. I would argue Donald Trump wasn't super important in that. I would give a little bit of the credit to the scientists, maybe we could remember to do that. But more importantly, he said, but if not for Trump, we'd be entering into this dark winter. You're on the news. What do you think is happening right now with the pandemic? Yes, the vaccine was announced and that's good. And someday we'll have it. Someday it'll be distributed. It wasn't distributed when the news happened, but he seems to think that it was. He thinks we were about to enter a dark winter, but now we're not because the vaccine exists. No, the cases are skyrocketing. More than 2,000 people are, I'm just gonna say, are gonna be reported dead literally today. and it's gonna be higher tomorrow, and it's gonna be higher the day after that. And it's gonna continue to go up because we don't have the vaccine right now. But he's still on the news pretending in a different way than the others. Sure, he's talking about it slightly different than Tucker Carlson or Laura Ingraham, but he's still talking about it as if it's, yay, we're done, we're good, and just in time for Thanksgiving. No, we're not at all. How could he speak so irresponsibly about a pandemic that is not only not done, but we might not even have yet seen the worst of? That's an actual question. I don't know. I don't know, Brett. How could he have, am I being too hard in that comment? How could he have said something so detached from the reality that's being presented to us every day?
It's insane. Someone said that it feels like you're playing pandemic and someone has all the cures, but they're like, you just have to wait for 4 turns before it gets to that person. But what we don't account, and then the game will be over. So we know it's within our reach, but you're not one of those people who has all the turns between now and then is Trump, and he just might throw the board over. And everything he's doing is throwing the board over. And not only that, but he won't go. Maybe he walked away. He's not doing any pandemic stuff.
No, he's not.
We have that as that's a fact. He hasn't done any pandemic-y stuff. And then this argument that if not for Trump, there wouldn't be a vaccine. You already mentioned that one of the companies did not participate in it, but other people, their counter argument is, well, there is a giant offer from the federal government to buy the vaccine. Okay, everything's wrong with that. Other countries have that for everything, by the way. Other countries collectively negotiate for drugs all the time on behalf of their people. That's how they get lower prices. That's how their system makes it such that it costs half as much to treat people and they live longer as opposed to the United States. So that's frustrating. Secondly, you think there wouldn't be a financial demand for this product without Trump? You would think people wouldn't want a vaccine for the biggest virus on earth if not for Trump's package of buying it, right? No. The only argument is that Trump got rid of some of the regulations that are in the way of fast tracking a vaccine. But you have no evidence that another president wouldn't do that. What I do know for a fact is that other presidents would have had a much more responsible reaction to this vaccine. I know that the guy who won the presidency for the next 4 years hasn't had coronavirus overrun his inner circle the way it just did with Trump's inner circle. I haven't seen it run rampant with the wanton disregard for every reasonable precaution that one would take when there's a virus like that. Like Chuck Grassley, Rudy's kid, 50 people. I think Jake Tapper's I lost count, but I think we're in the 50s with people in Trump's inner circle. I know that people in Biden's circle didn't get it to the extent that people in Trump's circle did. Why? I think we all know why. But no, Geraldo and everyone on Fox and Friends needs to talk to their audience and Trump like their children. That's elitist. That's elitist. Is to say, listen, let me dumb it down for you. I'm smarter than you, Donald Trump. So I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna name it after you. This is your little baby. You get to name it the Trump vaccine. Are you kidding me? Call it the Pfizer vaccine. Call it the COVID vaccine. Because you know what's important? That makes
sense to me.
The vaccine.
Yes.
We don't call the polio vaccine the FDR.
Exactly. And look, right now he's garbage in the context of wanting to give naming rights to Trump for the vaccine. But in 3 months, we're gonna be doing a garbage person about someone on Fox telling people not to take the vaccine. So just get ready for that because they want the credit now, but they're gonna be telling people not to take it later. That's definitely coming. Now, those are our garbage people, but what about you? Thousands of you went and voted for the Damage Report community garbage person. And we're gonna run up the top 5. At number 5 for this week, with 3% of the vote, is Candace Owens for her Harry Styles comments, where she got triggered by the fact that he was wearing a dress. Apparently that's not politically correct of him. In number 4, we have Rudy Giuliani at 8% of the vote for being a terrible lawyer and not maintaining control over his hair fibers. In third place, we have Scott Atlas at 17% of the vote for telling people to rise up against COVID rules. Number 2 this week, almost getting it, but Wayne County Republicans at 20% of the vote for trying to disenfranchise voters. Honestly, I think out of those 5, they should have gotten it, but I was overruled by the community. 53% chose this week Lindsey Graham for telling Georgia's Secretary of State to throw out ballots. Your garbage person of the week, Lindsey Graham. He's in the can this week. He deserves to be there every week. Thank you everyone who voted. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.